Look, here's our friend Naomi Wolf's got a new book out. You need to get this for Christmas. This is Facing the Beast. And I'm about a chapter into it. And her first chapter, she goes into some of the things that took place back in 2000, especially 21. And, she said something in here that I thought was insightful. She's always very insightful. I enjoy reading her stuff. And but she pointed out some stuff that from kind of a female maternal perspective that I thought was very important. When everyone in the government, at all levels of government, city, county, state, with few exceptions, and certainly federal government, told you that you had to wear a mask, and you did, even though you knew that was stupid, even though you knew that didn't make any sense at all. If you had high school biology, you knew better than that. But you did it anyway on the off chance that maybe, just maybe, your mask might intercept a virus, right? Being emitted by you, even though you weren't sick, or coming into you because you're afraid of being sick, all right? Because, from March of 2020, this was the flu. That's all it was another version of the goddamn flu. You know what happens when you get the flu? You've had the flu. Remember having the flu? You get sick, and then you get better. Unless you've got something really bad wrong with you, like COPD, or you're 97, or you've got 2 or 3 other diseases running concurrently at the same time, and it just puts too much stress on you, and you die. But what happens with the flu is you get sick, you feel like shit for a couple of days, and then you feel less like shit, and then a couple of days later you're back to kind of normal with a cough that persists for a while, right? Long COVID,
right?
A cough that persists after you've had an upper respiratory infection. Now that's long COVID, right? But this time it was a test. Can we make them wear a mask? Can we make them behave the way we want to? If we make them afraid enough, they will, because that's how you get the general public to cooperate with you, as you make them afraid. All right? So 80% of you guys wore the mask because the government told you had to wear the mask. And Ms. Wolf's observation is very important. She said, what did that teach your kids? What did that teach your kids, huh? Did you ever think about that? So whatever the government tells you to do, you're going to do, right? I mean, you did. That's what you did. Even though it made no sense. You just went along because you were afraid of being publicly ostracized for being an asshole. Right? Only assholes like me didn't wear the mask. Only assholes didn't wear the mask. You're not wearing a mask in the grocery store, you're an asshole. Right? No. Here's my take on it is, if you're wearing a mask in the grocery store, you're an obedient serf. You belong to them. And belonging to them, you'll do what they tell you to do. No matter what it is, you'll do what they tell you to do, won't you? You do something stupid like that. What if they tell you to kill the Jews? You going to do that too? You won't be prosecuted. Everybody hates the Jews. There must be a reason. Let's kill Jews. Shit like this has happened before, hasn't it? And you just fixed it up so it can happen again. Now you think about that, all right? I have no doubt that the vast majority of the people watching this podcast didn't wear the mask because we don't appeal to those kinds of people. But some of you put on the mask, and I want you to think about why you did that. All right? Now, you ought to be ashamed of that. You ought to apologize for it. If you're one of these pieces of dog shit that actually ran around enforcing the vaccine mandates, why, it makes me wish there was a hell for you. Because you killed people. And that was okay because you were doing what the government told you to do. Safe and effective. Remember Richard Maddow on MSNBC? How Richard said, the vaccines are safe and effective. Just get the damn shot. Right? And you thought to yourself, well, yeah, probably should. That's nauseating that you would do that. Nauseating that a free human being would voluntarily become a slave like that. Well, I'm getting further into this, and I'll have a report for you. Further in I go. But this you need to get this. This is a stocking stuffer for you for this Christmas. Naomi Wolf Facing the Beast. All right? Join us again this week on Starting Strength Radio. We're going to talk about all kinds of very, very important stuff. We're going to spend most of our time this week talking about our idea, the two-factor model. Now, this is an article on the website, and as far as I know, no one else besides us has ever made this observation. I think it's quite valuable. It predicts a lot of things. It prevents a lot of problems. And we're going to discuss the two-factor model on this week's Starting Strength Radio. Join us then.